All right, guys, good morning. Good morning. Welcome aboard to the Morning Note. My name is Carlos Garcia, founder and CEO of Gar Capital. Sorry I'm running a little late this morning. Still trying to play catch up. My internet went down overnight, so I had to reset that thing and kind of prep everyone on the blog. So my apologies. It's kind of screwy when you get your routine kind of thrown off. It happens, but you just kind of have to roll with it. So I'm just glad the internet's working. Glad to have you on board this morning. Happy Monday. It's July 31st, 2023. End of the month. So I am going to make a video for our premium members this evening regarding our trades and how we did for the month. So actually, no, I'll just do it for the server. I'm going to do that for the server, and I'll put it on YouTube as well, and so you guys can watch. I'm going to recap the month in terms of trading and how we did. I think Nick did a video already regarding futures, my futures trader. So if you want to go and take a look at that video, he did post it. Did a couple of reels as well, so there'll be some updates on that, but glad to have you on board. Sorry for the tardiness. Good morning, JJ. Thanks for being on board this morning. Dow futures are up 43 points, NASDAQ up 32 points, S&P 500 futures up about 9. Russell is tapping on that 2,000 level. Guys, remember that reel? We talked about that golden cross on RTY. 2,000 was coming. I think we said that right around like 1970 or so, but we've been playing the other indices, not Russell. The 10-year Treasury yields just bounced right now, 3.975. Let's see here if I had anything that came up that changed yields. Nothing here that says the Fed funds rate. Nothing yet. Okay, so I don't have any kind of news that why we're seeing a little bit of a bounce on yields. They were red this morning. Crude oil is up 87.27. I just went long crude oil with the futures team. Let me go ahead and do this here. We're going to go and explain it. I know my futures guys are on here, so we're going to talk about crude rather quickly. Well, I'm already long, so let's go ahead and go that first. 8010 was my alert. Again, my internet was out last night, and I don't have the best reception here in Central Florida. They still need to build more cell towers. There's times where I'm driving to Nick DiGiacomo. He lives literally across the way from me. And when I drive to go see him, I lose all signal. And that's AT&T, mind you. AT&T has a lot of coverage. 8010 on crude oil was the alert before, and then I just put an actual alert there. So 8010, that was the break. We're looking for 83.37, guys. I put that as the TP, and we're looking for around 85.39. That'll be the second TP. So 80.10 is my stop, and again, we've been riding crude oil for a while now, since really the break above the 200-day, right around 76. So again, we know with the dollar, we expect the dollar to come down, less drilling on crude oil. We know with OPEC, they're not drilling as much. They cut back production. So, something's got to give. I mean, if you're reducing supply and demand's the same, prices are going to go up. If demand comes down, which we don't see in terms of the new consumer sentiment reports, the banks that have been reporting customer spending, yeah, we know that consumer consumption is up, especially in a bull market, especially when inflation is down, and generally people are feeling better based on consumer sentiment. July, as we know, is the driving season. Kids are about to go to school, so again, I expect a spike in crude oil. I think around 86, or should be the next resistance or so, right around 80, 85.34. If we break above that, then we can really cook to around 90 to 95. So again, crude traders, futures traders, we can play this all day. And if we get a rejection here of 83.37, we can short back to 80, and we can just go back and forth and do this all day. So far this month, I believe we are green now on crude oil. We have not had a losing trade on crude oil, so awesome. I cross my fingers on that one, but yes, we are green now. I got in at around 81.36, so we're up. Crude traders, let's keep it rocking. Real quick in regards to NQ. So NQ, I got in at 15.8 right here. I sent out the long on the breakout last night. It pulled back. Again, no internet. I was asleep, ready for the day, and we wicked 791. So again, if you got stopped out, my apologies there. I should have widened the stop a little bit. At least to 15,762 would have been the 50 on the 1 hour. But again, I'm still in this trade. I still think we break above 15,906. So we'll just do another trade once we break above 15,910. We'll widen the stop again. we'll make up for that, get to 16, and we'll close it out and move on. So that's really just stop hunting. It happens. But at least crude oil will make our day better, at least. Let's keep it going. Crude oil again, 81.59. Gold is bouncing 2002 an ounce. Silver is up 0.57. Gasoline is down $2.88. $2.88 is the current price for gasoline per gallon. 397 for copper futures. That is a really great sign, guys. Copper is a big deal internationally. That is a real big sign of commerce and expansion of construction, since everything is run on copper for the most part. So again, once we get above $4, I think equities are going to bounce back as well and continue to the upside. Euro dollar 110.28. That's up 11 pips. Euro dollar has been rather choppy. Best thing is to just kind of scalp it as you go. Dollar yen, reversals on reversals. That's BOJ stuff. 142.39. They did an emergency buy of Japanese government bonds, the BOJ. 124 pips on the dollar yen. I did not catch that since that was overnight. So we're getting a move now on the 1 hour. We may be able to target 144.68. Let's see if we get continuation. Let my Forex team know that once we break above 142.50, I think it's probably best to go long on dollar yen. And if that's the case, so be it. Let's see. Can we expect a run up into Apple earnings? Yes, that's exactly what I expect, Patron Boy, is a run up into earnings. We didn't catch the 200 calls last week, unfortunately. We did the week before. 197.25. We break that. I'm looking to go long, maybe 198.50 to 200 level. We expect some good volume ahead of the earnings. Just be prepared that those prices are going to be a little elevated because you have implied volatility on the stock with the report coming on Thursday after the bell. Palantir, let's look at it. Palantir, I think Nick talked about it last night on the video. Need a break of 1903. They are considered the Lionel Messi of AI. Not my words. I believe that was Barclays that had that last night. So, been talking about Palantir, talked about that investment club that you could swing it. I've been trading it. We still have a gap to fill, guys. Here at 23.96. We're above 19. The target is 20.20. So if we get above 19, maybe we can go to 19 and a halves. But you can see we're wicking and pulling back a little bit. Again, you can call it a double top if you want on the 1 hour, maybe. But let's see if we can clear 19 this morning. Thoughts on Intel? Intel was a name that I talked about again on the blog. Intel above 37.62. Once we do that, like I said, we have a gap to fill here at 39. So we could play 38, 38 and a half to 39 as we're just playing the gap fill. The only issue is a downward gap at 35.02, so that's our risk. So we want to get above 37.62, target 38, 38 and a half, 39. Earnings are done for Intel. Granted, AMD does report earnings this week as well, so that may affect the semiconductor space. We just got earnings on semiconductor, ON Semiconductor, or ON. EPS beat $1.33 above the 121 expected. $2.09 billion in revenue. That beats $2.02 billion in revenue. Adjusted EPS expectation was $1.20, and their expectation, the actual guidance, $1.21 to $1.35. So that's a nice, 10 to 15% above the actual estimate. Q3 revenue $2.1 billion to $220 billion. The expectation was $2.05 billion. So some really good guidance from a semiconductor stock. We got the pop this morning. It's up about $4. I don't know much about this stock in terms of volume. I don't think it usually does. So, but again, it's been absolutely on fire on the daily. You could see it's, wow, really? Is this thing at 52-week highs? How about that? On Semiconductor at 52-week highs. There you go. As you know, I'm a little heavy in terms of semiconductors. Our top 10 stocks of the year included SMH. And we also talked about NVIDIA. And NVIDIA has been an absolute monster, as we know. So again, you don't want to be, too much into semiconductors either, because if one fall, one bad guidance, we tank across the board in terms of those kind of stocks. Let's see what else here. Carlos, we know how you feel about SPY or close end of the year. Thoughts on Bitcoin? Bitcoin, we really got to get above 35. That's the real number, 35,000. If you don't break above 35,000, you're just going to chop around, unfortunately. And the only way we're going to get there is if we get the dollar lowered. We did have the dead cat bounce in the dollar. If you guys remember, we were sub 100, now we're above 101. So, up about 1%. So again, not exactly a sore job. But again, once the dollar continues to fall, that means rate hikes are paused. Bond yields will come down. That's when Bitcoin will bounce. But you're just going to chop around here, guys, until you get to 35K. That's really it. In terms of what I think Bitcoin will be at the end of the year, I mean, it's so tough to call. I'm going to go ahead and just say 35 to 40. I'm going to keep it round because really it's based on the dollar, and I do expect the dollar to slide. It's the question of when. That's really it. And again, it's going to be really stocks above Bitcoin in terms of the flow of money. And again, the only reason that is because Bitcoin is so sensitive to those dollar moves and so sensitive to headlines. When you're buying equities, again, you have companies that actually make money. Bitcoin is still either a commodity or a crypto, depending on what you want, but they don't pay a dividend. It's not a stock or anything like that. So the stock market has been getting the bulk of all the flows, while Bitcoin really has been treading water. So I'll say 35 to 40,000 by the end of the year. What do you think about SoFi? SoFi reported earnings and they beat, and they're breaking out now. I had an alert above 1020, and that alert's going to go off. 1020 breaks. Really, the next level you're going to get is right around 1347. I don't think I'd play the 13 calls, but a break, $10.67. Again, we're going to have to just see what we get in terms of volume. But that's my next target is 1354. So again, you're talking about what, 30% upside? Not bad if you're trying to swing that. So investment club, keep an eye on SoFi. Can you review the earning call from this morning? In terms of SoFi, I'm looking for all the info on it, and I didn't see much. I know they beat, but let me see if I can get that for you guys. On semiconductor, SoFi, here we go. They raised their guidance. That's all it is. Let me go ahead and get that for you. Here you go. All right, so this is from TweetDeck, and this is from Stock Market News. Evan, SoFi beat, again, still negative EPS, but their revenue beat expectations. 489 million versus the 473 million expected. SoFi raised their 2023 guidance for adjusted net revenue of 1.974 billion, up from its prior guidance to 2.02 billion. Let me let my Forex team know. Okay, sorry guys, I had to text Nick about dollar yen. We just got the alert. Wow, you guys are watching everything live. Full year adjusted EBITDA guide from 333 to 343 million, up from its prior guidance to 268 million to 288 million. And really the only reason that those guidance numbers are up is because student loans were not forgiven. And that's okay. I mean, we're going to take advantage of that. That's all it is. So maybe the goal is to trade SoFi stock so it pays for your student loans. That's a little more optimistic, right? So $10.77. I'm going to say $11 for a break. If that does, then we could possibly target, I'm going to put 11.05. We could target that $12 level that I was talking about. I think that's the level I had. We have until 1364, so let's go ahead and place the alert there. Maybe we could do the 12s, maybe the 11.5s for continuation. But it's really just going to be based on volume, guys. That's really it. There's no volume, I'm not going to trade it. But again, SoFi does look good. Can't really lie there. And that's a name that I've played before. Good morning. What levels are you looking for Apple? Again, Apple, we're looking for 197.25. That's where we are. I still have Google calls, kind of pulling back here, but again, kind of bull flagging. We're expecting to go higher. You can see the NASDAQ. It's knocking on the door of 15,906. I fully expect us to end the day at 16,000 or around that level. That'll get us to around 46 and a quarter on S&P 500 futures. So I'm expecting a push higher. A name like SoFi having good earnings, that's a really good sign. Again, that's a high beta name. Let's go to some pre-market movers before we start our day. NEO up another 3% this morning. That one I missed. I didn't trade NEO as much. It's been a tough one. We traded BABA last week, and we were down, 83% on that name that we held, and it finally turned green. We got 13% on it. So tough. But we got it. Apple's up 0.33% on that Piper Sandler price target raise. Walt Disney, I think they're shuffling the board, adding some people that were with Bob Iger before. Microsoft's down this morning. Johnson & Johnson down 2%. Chevron was price upgraded They're up 1.84%. Verizon is up this morning. Salesforce is down 1.36%. Amazon's up 1% this morning. They report this week. AMD is also green. They report this week, and that's because of ON Semiconductor. Meta pulling back slightly, 0.35%. Let's see if there's anything else that I missed. Tesla pretty much flat on the day. And in terms of NASDAQ, anything here that Nikola, I don't trade that. That's up 7% this morning. So again, getting a little bit of a pop as we're getting to the end of the month. Really expected, nothing really new. Would you buy Microsoft long-term at these levels? Let's see it. Right at the 50-day. I think if we retest the 50-day, what I really wanted was 316. That's the gap fill. But we seem to be holding that 50-day that has not broken since March. So I think the best bet is the dollar cost average here on Microsoft. If you haven't already, you can, again, depending on what you want to own, obviously. Say you wanted to own Microsoft. I do. So what we're looking for is really just dollar cost average over time. And again, if you get a pullback, you buy a little. If you get a sore job, you hold back a little bit. So again, it's really just based on what's on sale. So I'm looking for 316. That's kind of the level I'm looking for. I kind of want 300. I don't know if I'll get it, but that 50-day is holding up. So here's not a bad level to get started in terms of Microsoft. It's a company that you're gonna, you're just gonna own forever. Let's be honest. How much volume do I look for? Anything above 1,000 for the most part. Is there a certain number of volume we look for? 1,000 or more. Thoughts on space calls this week? That is Virgin Galactic. Let's go to the daily and see if anything. Yeah, you really can't do much here until we get above 445. That's your 200-day moving average. And there is a gap to fill here, guys, at 511. So we break 446, just fill the $5 calls, and it's out of penny stock land if you get that break. Until then, I would not touch. Leave it there. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and get back with the server on Discord. I will see you guys tomorrow for the next morning note, and I'm going to do a recap of the month for the server and YouTube. Make sure to turn on notifications if you haven't already. We're just going to go over the options trades for the week. We got a big streak this week, 21 trades in a row. That was amazing. But then streaks do end. So the idea is to start a new one. Let's see what we get. Appreciate it, guys. Yes, hit the like button if you do. Turn on notifications if you haven't already. Subscribe to our channel. We got another video coming up tonight going over the options trades that we had for July. Have a great rest of your day. I'll see you then. Cheers.